Howdy everybody, John here. Today we're going to be going over redoing this 5.5 gallon aquarium. In here we have all live plants, we have semi-aquatic bamboo, we have some other plants in here. I don't really know what they are, to be honest. I have a few white cloud minnows and a betta fish in here. And also we have one invertebrate, it's a bamboo shrimp, some people call it a wood shrimp. That guy is just a filter feeder. As you can see, he's crawling up in the bamboo back there. But I planted this tank about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months ago, and I had a very large red plant in the center. I didn't know what it was called. I got it from my local fish store, and the plants just aren't doing so hot. As you can see, that big red plant's starting to decay. I don't think I have strong enough lighting for it. I just use gravel. These are all like plants in here. At first, I had some really good growth and really good everything. I was really on top with the maintenance. But as the plants started decaying, I neglected the tank a little bit. As you can see, it's even a little dirty. It's time for me to clean it. But I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to tear down the tank, take out the substrate, and I have some, fertilizer or whatever, plant family substrate that I'm going to throw in there. And I'm going to replant some plants, get it set with all these plants, and then later on I'm going to add some more plants in once the tank's getting a little bit developed. So stay tuned for what's going to be going on. This video is going to be kind of split up into different sections. So if you want to speed ahead past the tear down and see how I actually reset it back up, go ahead, because I'm going to do a tear down and a setting up and then planting some plants along the way. So for the initial tear down, the things I'm going to be using are obviously a vacuum or some way to drain the aquarium, temporary tank to hold my critters as I'm working on their home, and then obviously a net and a bucket. What I plan on doing is I'm only going to fill this up about halfway. When I'm moving fish, if I'm redoing an aquarium or moving aquariums, upgrading aquariums altogether, is I like to drain about half the water out. I like to take most of the decor out if I can. And then I like to catch the fish. It's a lot of things. One, it's a lot easier to catch the fish once everything's out of the way. You can hide against anything. Also, you're not going to be knocking stuff over, getting into them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the heater inside here to keep the tank warm. This room is a little bit cooler because this is the room to sleep in, so we have the AC running most of the time. So my water temperature is about 74 degrees, which it ranges between about 74 to about 77, depending on how the time of the year. Because I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, well, what cold minnows are cold water fish? Well, actually, they're top range. They can handle higher temperatures as long as you acclimate to them slowly. And then bettas can also handle 74 to about 80 degrees, safely. So to keep them nice and healthy. Since I've had my betta in this tank, he's had less problems than I've had him in other tanks. And also I've had no white cloud minnows die, ever, since I've gotten them. And they've grown and their colors are pretty sharp. Maybe when they're in the temporary tank, when they're in here, maybe I can get a couple of good shots of them. This little temporary tank had for a while. It's a little cloudy, but the inside's clean. I always disinfect it. We use bleach and or vinegar anytime I'm doing something like this, just because I don't want to cross-contaminate sicknesses, or if I've used this as like a hospital tank or something, I don't want to get the fish sick. So make sure that if you're using something like this, make sure everything's all clean. And I'm not going to I'm going to vacuum first, vacuum just the soil out just a little bit first and get some water into here. Then I'm going to drain some more water, fill this about halfway. That way I don't get a bunch of dirt and stuff in here, because I want to reuse this water when I'm jumping up the next aquarium. And then I'm going to put the biofilter and just the carbon filter innards in here as well. That way your biological media, all the bacteria on there, stays alive and good to go. That way you're not restarting a whole aquarium. If you're going to do something like this, you need to make sure that you keep in mind how long you're keeping them in your temporary aquarium. I'm only planning on doing a short amount of time, so yeah, this should be perfectly fine. And then make sure you're getting your pH and your temperature in the tank once you're redone back to what they're used to. Now, we can get into a whole nother video on fish handling different pHs and in different water temperatures and what it actually does to them if you don't either acclimate them correctly or if you're keeping fish that aren't in their ideal environment. So that'll be a whole nother video. So yeah, let's get going. Alright, so I unplugged everything. Also what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these plants and I'm just going to throw them in with the plants I'm going to save. I'm going to just throw them in with the fish. You want to make sure that the plants don't dry out, so it's best to keep them in water as much as possible. The plants I'm going to save at least. So, drain some of this water into this aquarium or to the temporary tank first. I'm only going to fill it so like I said about halfway. It's also smart to have a towel. Nice and handy. I know it's probably hard for y'all to see now that the lights are off, but now I'm just gonna grab the plants by the roots. These were not very healthy when I got them. There was virtually no leaves, they were a tiny bit shorter, there was absolutely no roots. As you can see, just them being in with other aquatic animals. People underestimate how much fish themselves can help fertilize plants. They spend a lot of money on fertilizers, root tabs, all this stuff, and those do help. I don't believe they're necessarily long-term and as consistent as people think. I can show you my 120. I only dose my tank with fertilizers about once a week, if not just every other week. All I do is stay up on the pruning when we get dead leaves, and yeah. And as you can see, this worked very well. And I hardly ever put fertilizers in this tank because it is so small. I don't want to worry about overdosing the aquarium. Take out both the carbon and the biomedia filtration and just throw it in there. Now for the tricky part, it's catching the fish nice and safely. I have a nice wide net, so hopefully I can catch them easier. I'm going to try to catch the Betta by himself because he has had problems with his fins ripping in the past. And he's been through a lot. He's been in a lot of different aquariums. Maybe I can do a whole video on the story of Dallas. His name. Hey, buddy. I only have 4. I went to buy them at the time. That's as many as they had. I was wanting to get 5. I actually kind of bought them on a whim. I was just kind of searching around. I think I got all 4 in the first try. Did I? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did. All right. So I'm just put them in there. They're not going to be in here so long. If I start to take a while doing this tank, I'll throw in an air filter. An air pump just to get water some oxidation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drain the rest of the tank. So now I'm just going to move this out of the way because I don't want to be knocking into it and all that. So, yep. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump out this water in the substrate and go from there. I'm just going to dump this substrate out to do it by the backyard. Disclaimer at any point in this video, if you hear any cat noises during wrestling, that's just our cat Mittens. She not only guards the garden, but she helps with pest control and she likes looking at the fish. always helps to have some sort of power, or like some sort of jet hose that you can use. It'll not only help you clean the aquarium, but help you get some of this substrate out. Helps if you don't have kinks in the hose here. One thing I want to do on my channel, I'm new at this, because I'm going to try to keep everything as real as possible. I'm not going to polish anything up. There might be times when the video is blurry, there might be times I spill some water. It's all part of it. I'm sure that's what everybody does at home, because I know that I mess up stuff like that all the time. If I overflow an aquarium during the video, it's going to be in the video. Just going to dump this out in the middle of the backyard. Exactly have all day to do this, alright? Boom. Alright, so the soil we're going to be using for this is this, or the substrate, whatever, is this fluval plant stratum mineral rich substrate. It's supposed to be for a planted aquarium. It's supposed to it promotes neutral to mildly acidic pH, which the water naturally at my house is around between about 7.2 to 7.5. So more about pH in like aquariums later. I guess you can also count this as a product review. But it does say for this soil, it is recommended. It is ideally for stimulating growth of aquatic plants in freshwater aquariums. It does emphasize that it's only for freshwater aquariums. But what we're going to do, I mean, Frugal is a great brand. I use it. I have a Frugal canister filters for all the Frugal products. What we're going to do is, it says that we need to gently rinse Frugal stratum in a large cylinder or some. Basically just remove the fine dust particles. I'm not going to use this whole bag, so I'm going to use this handy dandy bucket. Lowe's, like $3. Even in California where everything's really cheap. I'm not going to... Let's try this again. I'm not going to dump this whole bag. I don't see myself using all of it. So these do look like little beads. So like rocks. I will say, just by feeling it and looking at it and the smell of it, it does. It actually kind of smells like, like soil for your garden or what have you. But it does have a different feel. It definitely feels like lighter. Like per handful, it doesn't feel like normal rocks. I can see that it's really dusty. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just rinse this off. I'm just gonna, like how you would any other substrate. Just keep filling it up. Alright, so now it's time to go ahead and get started reassembling everything. So things you're gonna need in order to do this is, well, not need, but it's highly recommended, is these little forceps tong things. These have been a lifesaver. I didn't use these for a very long time. I finally got them because they were on sale, and totally worth the investment. You're gonna need some scissors, and then also these are all my plants that I took out, and then got my substrate right here in this bucket still, and then, like always, a towel, because we're not perfect. I don't want to spill water everywhere, most likely. So anyways, so as you can see, I kept the filtrations, or the filter media inside the water with the fish, like I said. This is one of the plants I'm going to be adding. This is going to be like the centerpiece. This is going to be like the center focal point to the aquarium. Most of the time you do want a center focal point. This time I'm going to try this Temple Compacta. It doesn't require a whole lot of lighting according to what the interweb says. But you are going to need scissors to open these up, and then scissors to prune the plants if needed. So this is, I picked this up at PetSmart just a little bit ago. This is like a plant that comes in these little tubes. I don't always get these, but most of the time I do like to get these because I've had the best success with these plants. One of the biggest things is there's no pests in here. They're snail free, like pretty much guaranteed snail free, and yeah, I've had a bunch of issues with snails in my one of my aquariums, and these just amazing. You can see behind me, this is my 120-gallon aquarium. I have cichlids, mostly African. More on how I mix cichlids successfully together, but I do have some, a Texas cichlid, which is considered a South American and Central American cichlid, and a blood parrot. The rest are African, and a rainbow shark as well. And then there is a sailfin leopard pleco. But in here, you can see I have these thick, hardy plants in here. Most of them came from this right here. These right here. And these have been the best plants with these cichlids because they have a lot harder time digging them up. So, and they do quite well. Like I said, this is just, they weren't always in this aquarium. This is what we used to be in a 55-gallon just aquarium with the stock lighting that came, just simple LEDs. The same lighting that's in this, just more of it in a 55-gallon because it was a top fin brand aquarium I got on sale at PetSmart one time. Not name dropping pet stores. I'm just being real with you on where I get stuff. I get stuff from all different stores, and some stuff have better products than others. I like Petco for certain things, I like PetSmart for certain things. I like a different local fish store for certain things. I like another different local fish store for certain things. So you just gotta find your role, what you get. So yeah, let's get started. If you were gonna put a background on an aquarium, this would be the easiest time. This one, I painted this, but for this one, I'm just gonna leave it blank. It's just going to the bedroom next to myself. I do have a 20-gallon and another 10-gallon and another 10-gallon that have backgrounds on all of them. But for this one, I'm just going backgroundless. So maybe in some other videos we'll take a gander at some other tanks. But anyways, let's get started. So first, we already go ahead and took care of the substrate. Hopefully I did enough. If not, you're going to see me dump some in here, have a really disappointed look, and it's going to cut to me magically having more substrate. So here we go. I'm just going to dump it in with the water and everything. And we're back. This has all been rinsed off, so I'm just going to figure out when I want to place these. All I'm going to do now is just plant the rest of these plants, play around with it, fill it up with a little bit of water, and then we'll go from there. I'm thinking about getting some of those fancy looking red shrimp to put in here. I'm just kind of playing this by ear right now. So yeah, what we're gonna do is now we're gonna add in some water, dechlorinate the water, put it into place, and then I have these bamboos stick up out of the aquarium, so I need to put this on when I put the filter on, because I put it in front of the filter, and then I put it in the hole where the lid is for the filter, because these are semi-aquatic, so these stick up in the room. My wife likes it because she likes some live plants in the room, and just kind of adds a nice little to the room. So let's do that next. Alright, so I'm back in the bedroom. I put some more water back in this aquarium. It's starting to settle a little bit. I might have to do some research to see if I mess this up, because it is looking really murky. We'll stay up on that, but for now I'm going to show you how I got the filter on, I got the heater in there, I got everything running. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these bamboo here. So I put it in there, or I put the lid on, but first I got to put where it's supposed to go. Make sure it's not thrashing. I don't want my tall plant in the center thrashing, so I might scoot over that tall bit a little bit. So when you're doing this, you start putting the filter and you start doing some stuff. Some of your little plants that you planted might uproot. That's fine. That's why you keep these handy. You don't have to drop them. So with these rather, I stick them through. I put one right here, and it kind of sticks under the lid, just about like that, and the leaves stick through. And then with this one, kind of, I knocked over my plant, man. Dang. I have to replant that one again. Kind of like literally screwed in there, just to see where it'll go, and then I can take off. Now that I have like a rough estimate of where it's going to go, I hold it in place, take the lid back off, and then I'm able to officially plant them. So it'd be a lot easier if this water was clear, but gotta do what you gotta do. Once this clears up a little bit, I'll top it back off even more and add in, I'm probably just going to end up dumping the fish in there, because I got about 1.5 inches of water still in here in this 2.5 gallon temporary tank, or critter tote. And I'm going to place the shrimp in there, but the fish, as long as they don't, if it's deep enough where they're not going to bump their head and they're not going to get like beached, you know, on the side while you're dumping it in and they flop around on hard plastic, it should be okay. So I usually put it toward all the water on the corner on one side, making sure there's nothing in the aquarium to bang around, or in the container, and then I'll just slowly throw them in there. As long as the temperatures match and they're acclimated, should be good to go. So make sure of that for them. So now what we're gonna do is just wait. Alright y'all, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Just for those watching, I want to keep it real on this channel, so I did make some mistakes. So I read the bag for the substrate. I did say to put like a dish over it and pour water onto the dish. That way it didn't create a disturbance. It would say in the bag though that it would take a couple hours for it to settle and clear up. So it is normal, I guess, for it to cloud up like that. But hey, I'm gonna make mistakes on this channel. I'm not gonna cut it out. So I'm just gonna keep it real. But hey, if you like the video or you want to see something new or you think I even suck, tell me at the bottom. Like, dislike, comment, talk trash, whatever. But if you want to see something specific, I do have some ideas. I have some product reviews. I feel like a lot of people in this hobby don't do enough quality product reviews, so I'm gonna get out a couple product reviews for y'all. And maybe we can talk about some of my fish in this 120 here, or maybe my 20 gallon, or 10, or 5, or 3, or other 10. So yeah, tell me what you want to see. Alright, see y'all later.